What's going on, everybody? So I'm back today to review a new Paramount Plus original horror movie, which I don't normally watch a whole lot of stuff on Paramount Plus, but I was excited for this one because Maika Monroe is in this film, and she is absolutely incredible. She was in a film this year earlier that I absolutely loved called Watcher, and so I was really excited to see that. Obviously, I love her in It Follows and The Guest, and she's just a really incredibly talented actress who I love seeing get more roles. And this film also stars Jake Lacy, who I really appreciate. And the movie I'm going to be talking about today is Significant Other. Significant Other is directed by Robert Olsen and Dan Berk. Ruth and Harry decide to take a romantic backpacking trip through the Pacific Northwest, but amongst the beautiful scenery, Ruth makes an unexpected discovery that sets her off on a strange, frightening new path. The couple aren't alone in the woods, and they might not be the same when they come out, if they come out. So this film is a really super simplistic premise. The film opens, we see something fall from the sky in the middle of the woods, we see this like tentacle thing moving around, and then it cuts to Maika Monroe and Jake Lacy's character in a car driving out to the woods. They're going on this camping slash hiking trip, and they stop at this restaurant and they're eating outside, and this young kid comes outside from the restaurant. He said, "Did you see the red thing fall from the sky?" And his mom calls him back inside, and they're like, "Well, that's weird." And then they go out into the woods, and what we do at the beginning of this film is we build really great character dynamic between Maika Monroe and Jake Lacy. You see that they're a couple, they're not married yet, they've been together for a while, but you can tell that Maika Monroe has some things in her past that are really troubling to her. She deals with really heavy anxiety with trauma related to her past. The whole purpose of this trip is for Jake Lacy's character to propose to Maika Monroe. And while they're out there, weird things start happening, and that is really the most that I want to give away from the plot. I really enjoyed this movie. I was kind of surprised that it was met with such mixed reactions because for such a small budget, this film does a really great job telling this really small scale character study while at the same time being suspenseful, engaging, violent. There's great CGI effects in this that look really cool. I was really appreciative of when we find out what the threat is, what that creature design looks like, and it really starts to ask a lot of interesting questions that I don't want to dive too heavily into spoilers because it gives it away. But what I will say is this film tonally does a really nice job of balancing comedy and horror. There's a lot of like really goofy punchlines that occur throughout the film that I was really appreciative of. And Jake Lacy is one of those actors who he constantly does the nice guy persona. And so this film gives him the opportunity to kind of go all over the place with his role, and I was really appreciative of that. And like I said, I think Maika Monroe does a really great job in whatever role that she's in, really just being like a believable lead, and she is phenomenal in this film. I think she really does a great job at conveying that past trauma and what she's going through, and I think that the way that the trauma is conveyed throughout the film, it's done really excellently. I really love the bleak cinematography of this film. Like, they're going on this hiking trip, but it's really cold and gloomy, and like even in this beautiful shot where he's taking her to propose on this cliff edge with this beautiful shot of the water, it's still really muted color palette wise, and you can tell that where they're at, it's just really rainy and cold and just uninviting, which I think adds to that atmosphere. So when things blow up around the midway point of the film, you're even more invested and engaged because of just how the film is shot. And there's so many beautiful aerial shots in this movie, and they do a really great job with the budget that they have creating this small scale character study, which I'm really appreciative of. If I have any qualms with the film, the third act is a little rushed. It feels like, you know, they build up to this point. I really like the climax of the film. I think they do a good job with it, but it just kind of wraps up really quickly in a way that if you've seen, once you realize what the twist is in this film, you'll realize, hey, this isn't the first time we've seen this type of film before, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I really appreciate this style of film and where this direction goes, and not every movie has to be surprising in like the most unique and innovative way, which is why I think I appreciated this so much. But I think that it could have dwelled on it a little bit more at the end. It just wraps up a little too quickly. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. It's a brisk like hour and 20-minute runtime that's incredibly effective, and I'd say if you have a Paramount subscription, go watch this movie. It's totally worth your time. Definitely a fun film for the spooky season. So have you seen Significant Other? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was a blast. I really enjoyed myself. myself. I'm not sure why people didn't like this one more, but it was really entertaining and I think you'll appreciate it as well. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.